ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
A close call this afternoon in El Cajon after a small plane clipped a fence and landed just feet from a school. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. New at 7, our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura talked to a witness who saw the whole thing happen. Anthony.
Steve, Kimberly, they've locked the gate to this field and playground, but the plane is still in there. I did speak to the pilot earlier. I spoke to him off camera, and it's really incredible that he was able to land this plane on this field. I do want to show you some video now. This is video taken by Sky 10 as it flew over the area just shortly after that emergency landing. The pilot says he took off from Gillespie Field for a practice flight. He'd been flying for about an hour, and he was headed back to Gillespie to land when he ran out of gas. The engine stopped and he had to look for a safe place to land. He was able to glide to the field and he was able to make that emergency landing. Now, the plane had damage to one wing. The pilot clipped a fence on the way down. He landed in a field next to a playground, probably about the size of a football field. It's next to W.D. Hall Elementary. This is off Pepper Drive in El Cajon. Now, we spoke with a witness who watched the emergency landing. She ran over to see the man come out of the plane uninjured.
Did a magnificent job with not having to, look at all around you. There's tons of houses, there's tons of people. The time that it happened, it was a lot of people out. It was before even traffic going home. So definitely, I think I commend him on doing a great job and not running any further into, the buildings or homes.
Really incredible landing there. Now, the plane will stay here in the field. It's going to be towed in the morning. We're reporting live tonight. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. We have some breaking news. 2 members of the Navy, they are dead after a training plane crashed in Alabama today. That plane went down in a town called Foley, which is just west of Pensacola, Florida. The plane flew out of Naval Air Station Whiting, northeast of Pensacola. The Navy says the 2 crew members killed in the crash were the only ones on board. Their names have not yet been released.
Prosecutors will take another shot at giving the death penalty to San Diego native Scott Peterson. Peterson was convicted for the 2002 murder of his wife and unborn son. The state Supreme Court overturned his death sentence back in August, and now prosecutors will try again. And Peterson's family tells ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen they're surprised.
La Jolla, 2003. His hair dyed blonde. Scott Peterson arrested in front of Torrey Pines Golf Course in the disappearance of his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson. The body of Lacey discovered days before along San Francisco Bay. The disappearance drew national headlines, and so did the eventual murder trial.
Scott Lee Peterson guilty.
Peterson found guilty of murder and sentenced to death. More than 15 years later, the state Supreme Court in August overturned the death sentence. The court ruling potential jurors for the death penalty phase were improperly dismissed by the judge after they said they disagreed with the death penalty but would be willing to impose it. Peterson's sister-in-law, Janie Peterson, who lives in the San Diego area, described the reaction of his family, which has maintained his innocence since the beginning.
I don't think we realized what a relief it would be till it actually happened. When you realize that, they're not going to stick a needle in his arm, there was definitely a sense of relief that came with that.
Prosecutors announced their intention to retry the penalty phase. And 2 months later, during a remote hearing in Modesto, with Peterson attending via video, prosecutors announced their intention to retry the penalty phase.
We were a little surprised because, fiscally, it's an expensive thing to do, and or that they're going to go through with the penalty phase. It surprised me.
She says despite the surprise, they are ready for what lies ahead.
We're not afraid to go back into court, and we're ready to go back into court.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
And there is another big wrinkle in this case. Peterson's entire conviction could be thrown out. Last week, the state Supreme Court granted a review of his conviction because a juror failed to disclose she had once been the victim of a crime while pregnant. Prosecutors must file a brief by mid-November before a judge decides if Peterson gets a new trial. Until that happens, the death penalty question is expected to be put on hold.
Turning now to coronavirus, the pandemic is forcing the cancellation of this year's Holiday Bowl and the festivities that go along with it. The game's longtime home, SDCCU Stadium, is being torn down. But organizers tell our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn they will be back big next year.
When the annual Holiday Bowl parade makes its way down Harbor Drive, perhaps nobody has a better bird's eye view than Chuck Abbott.
The parade goes right by our hotel, so we have a lot of activity both on our pool deck, Vestal, Garibaldi, watching the parade from our balconies.
Abbott runs the Intercontinental Hotel along the waterfront.
Obviously, the more people come in, either stay here or they come to the restaurants, they enjoy a cocktail or a bite to eat.
This year, like many San Diego staples, that won't be the case. The Holiday Bowl canceled for the first time in 43 years, meaning the region will lose out on its $31 million annual economic impact, including 28,000 hotel room nights.
As things were moving along, we realized that we were not going to be able to have fans at the game. If there's no fans at the game, there's no tourism. And if there's no tourism, there's no economic impact.
The bowl is pledging to come back strong next year, given its sponsors, TV contract, and new conference partners. But it's uncertain where the game would play. SDCCU Stadium is being torn down, and it's unclear if Petco Park can fit a football field.
Well, I'd love Petco because I own several restaurants right around there. But it's a beautiful facility. You've got all the hotels and everything down there. And if they can figure it out logistically to put a field in there, it'd be a great spot.
A Bull spokesman said Friday it was too early to discuss next year's venue. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
And here are the latest numbers. The county announced another 430 cases today, bringing our total to nearly 54,000. There was one new death, bringing that total to 867.
San Diego State students are once again being urged to stay at home for all but essential services. But it's not because of a spike in coronavirus cases. Instead, the university is looking to prevent a spike from Halloween parties. Students that we spoke with say most people are generally following the rules, but they're skeptical the new advisory will have much impact.
I feel like it's a little bit divided between a lot of students. A lot of students like me who would rather stay inside. There's a lot of students who need that social interaction, and they kind of go outside and go talk to people and all that.
Of the more than 1,200 cases at SDSU, only a fraction has come in recent weeks. The university says that it has sent out nearly 900 notices for COVID-19 policy violations, mostly for off-campus gatherings. The city is cracking down on an Airbnb party house in La Jolla Farms. In a civil enforcement action filed today, the city attorney called the house a public health hazard, and the parties held their super spreader events. She says that police have been called to the mansion at least 30 times, and about a dozen of those calls were during the pandemic. The owners are being ordered to clean up the property, and a lawsuit could be coming. Stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
Homicide detectives are looking into the death of a man in El Cajon. Someone called police to tell them about the death this morning at the home on Marline Avenue. When officers arrived, they found the body of a man in his 30s. They're not giving any other details, but say that the death is suspicious. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. The man who bought 2 rifles used in the 2015 terror attacks in San Bernardino was sentenced to 20 years in prison today. Enrique Marquez supplied the weapons used by the husband and the wife duo who opened fire on a meeting and holiday gathering. The couple fled after killing 14 people and wounding 22 others. They later died that day in a gun battle. Marquez showed no emotion today as victims' relatives asked for the lengthy sentence.
Breaking news now. In just the last few minutes, Border Patrol confirmed there was a shooting near Las Americas Outlet Mall involving one of its agents. ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo is live now with what we know at this hour. Laura.
Yeah, and so this is all very developing at the moment. I want to take you straight to the scene. This is just behind the Las Americas Mall. If you are familiar with this, it is near the H&M shop and the Taco Bell. There are a number of Border Patrol agent police patrol cars out here. We have also seen SDPD out here. This is above the parking lot of the mall, and this is the information that we know right now. We know that San Diego police is handling the investigation for now, and the call came out just before 6 p.m. here at the mall. Border Patrol did confirm that there was a shooting. I reached out to a Border Patrol PIO. He told me that he could not tell me the circumstances of the shooting at the moment, but said that there was an official on the way that was going to provide more information. We do not know the condition of the person that was shot. And again, that you're seeing behind you is what is considered the border fence or the border wall. This all very preliminary at the moment. We are waiting to find out more information, but we do know that there was a shooting incident involving a Border Patrol agent. We are awaiting more information. Business is usual here at the mall. Aside from that scene that you see here behind me, we are going to stay here, find out some more information, and bring you the latest as we get it. Reporting live, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Laura,